Early 1944 brought the resumption of missions over Axis Europe, but now with round-trip escorts. Amongst the aircrew was a young American navigator who, post-war, became a professional photographer for Life magazine. His name was Shay. When not flying, he traveled with his Leica, and we at the Royal Photographic Society thought it would be fitting to recognize the 80th anniversary of Big Week, in which he participated, by following in his footsteps. Operation Argument was a bait-and-kill operation to reduce the number of experienced German Air Force pilots in theater, pre-D-Day, in just 90 days after Day 6 of Big Week. So did Operation Argument have a positive outcome? In 6 days, the Luftwaffe lost 1/3 of its single-engine fighters and, perhaps more importantly, 18% of the experienced pilots. Logic decrees that this must have had a significant impact on the viability of air cover in June at the time of the Normandy landings. Looking back now, as we approach the 80th anniversary, the air stations from which the airmen and liberators flew are degrading, and the purpose of Slipstream 24 is to document this date, right now, in the present. Some air stations have maintained a modicum of general aviation, which we are pleased to see, but others have through the decades either returned to agricultural land or have been commercially developed, such as Hethel and Lotus.
last look. Norwich Reunion 2023, 18–22 September. Was a welcome return to some 36 United States veterans and guests to take part in one last look, to visit the former base at Rackheath and explore rediscovered long-lost paths and buildings among a week with exciting activities. On the 19th, at St. Andrew's Church, Kirby Beedon, just southeast of Norwich, the Reverend Nick Garrett, who gave a small service, explained.
I stood here in front of an almost packed church on a very moving occasion. It was the day the 467th Bombardment Group Association's East Anglian tour from the USA came here, to be met by Kirby kids and their family members. On one hand, I had been well prepared by the tour's organizer, about timings, numbers, who would speak, and that it was likely to be an emotional occasion. What had happened here was intense in its focus. One event, the reliving of one day in 1944 in a small village community, that had been clearly recalled in the memories of the surviving crew members of Broad and High, and by the women and children on the ground who rushed to help at the crash site. These memories are still alive and vivid in the imaginations of their descendants.
The 8th Air Force Seething Airfield, known as Station 146, was the wartime base of the 448th Bomb Group, which comprised of the 712th, 713th, 714th, and 715th Bombardment Squadrons. During the duration of the war, having arrived from Sioux City, Iowa in 1943 and before departing in 1945 to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in addition to taking part in Big Week, the 448th European tour included visits to the strategic sites of Gotha, Berlin, Hanau, Kiel, Ludwigshafen, Politz, Rostock, Cologne, Fallersleben, and provided clout for the D-Day landings. The airfield was one site, split between the aircraft dispersals and the main operations buildings, which were approximately half a mile away, and clearly separate from the aircraft base for safety reasons. As at 2023, the main operation building that had protection from potential gas attacks has been used by the sole trader Mr. Clutton for his vehicle repair and servicing business for the last few years. In total, around 5,000 8th Army Air Force personnel worked at Seething during the Second World War. The remaining complex of buildings comprises of around 8 individual units, including one with window bars where bomb aiming sights from the aircraft were stored and guarded 24 hours to avoid theft when the planes were not flying.
The American Library Online offers the historical facts that members of the 2nd Air Division of the 8th United States Army Air Force were based in the English counties of Norfolk and Suffolk during the Second World War. Some 7,000 Americans lost their lives during the conflict, and at the end of hostilities, the division's senior officers called for funds in 1945 to honor the fallen with a memorial in Norfolk. All personnel supported their appeal, and this money was placed under the care of the Memorial Trust of the 2nd Air Division, now a registered UK charity. The memorial room was opened in 1963 and survived until the fire in 1994, which devastated the building. This event is still a bit of a head-scratcher as the neighboring building, across the street, was the fully functioning main city fire station. The Memorial Library did the Phoenix and was reopened on the 1st of November 2001 in the replacement building known as the Forum.
nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.